Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss one word substitutes which is prescribed under Unit 1 for 5th SEM degree students under English subjects. So do you know the importance of one word students or one word substitute? What do you mean by substitute? Substitute is what you use in place of something. That is the meaning of substitute. So now let us understand why these one word substitutes are important. And one word substitution is used in place of a group of words or a sentence so that you are able to write it precisely and concisely. That means without affecting the meaning. Instead of beating around the bush, some people have the habit of talking for a longer period. So what they can tell within a short period, they extend it, prolong it, and keep on telling for hours together. That demotivates the listener. So it is better to use very precise words and precise sentences to captivate the interest of the listener or the reader. So we follow this kind of one word substitution in either writing or speaking. Now if we take the example, the following example, in this example, he thinks he can never do any wrong or any mistake. If you take this sentence, he thinks he is infallible. That is the word, students. Infallible means thinking that he can never go wrong or can make any mistakes. So instead of speaking a longer sentence, you can use one word. So this is the essence of using one word substitutes. Got it, students? Now we are going to solve some exercises so that you will understand it very clearly, and it is very useful from the examination point of view also. There will be sure short questions from these exercises. So don't ignore them. Okay. Now coming on to exercises, the first exercise is match the descriptions in column A with their one word substitutes in column B. So the first one, in the same words as were used originally. So what could be the word out of these 10 words? Okay, so in the same words as were used originally, it could be verbatim. That is the word for this phrase. Someone who loves collecting books. So what is the word? It is bibliophile. Always biblio means books, phile means love or liking. One who is violently against established beliefs. So what could be the word? It is iconoclast. Then fourth, one with unlimited power. So what is the word? It is autocrat. 5. A poem of serious reflection, typically a lament for the dead. So what is the word? It is elegy. Okay, so whenever you read an elegy, that means it is a sad poem. Then fifth one, a person, that is over poem. Sixth one who is recovering health after illness. So what could be the word? It is convalescent. Then seventh, one who runs away from justice. So that is fugitive. A criminal or whoever is who runs away from justice is called as fugitive. A small shelter for a dog, that is kennel. Then ninth one, a backward look or a view into the past. So when we look into the past and think, that is called as retrospect. And the last one, expressive in the use of words. And the word is eloquent. She is eloquent or he is eloquent means they are very clear and they are very expressive, and they know lots and lots of vocabulary, contextual vocabulary, not other words, but whichever are relevant to that particular context, they know. They are called as eloquent speakers or eloquent writers. Then the next exercise, fill in the blanks with suitable forms of words from the given box. So these are the 10 words, students, like philanthropist, somnambulist, recluse, polyglot, stoic, shawl, secular, torrent, wanderlust, teetotaler. Do you know any of the words, students? Okay. 1. On the ride into the ocean, the tourists were treated to a dash of rare fish. So, a group of fish are called shoal. So, they were treated to a shoal of rare fish. The river, fueled by rain, turned into a dash. That is a torrent. Torrent is a kind of storm in the waters. Third, one should learn to be a dash occasionally to discover oneself. So, recluse. Fourth one, the patient went missing only to be found sleeping in the balcony. The doctors discovered that he was a somnambulist. Always somna means sleep, students. This word means sleep. As a dash, she could understand conversations in many languages on the metro. That means polyglot. Polyglot means knowing lot of many languages. Sixth, in ancient Indian knowledge, it is believed that people after reaching a certain advanced age become stoic. Stoic means expressionless, no expressions at all. Seventh, every political party should develop policies which are dash and can reach out to all the communities, means secular, means tolerance of all the religions and all the communities. Eighth, the young people of today, realizing that travel is an important experience of life, are nurturing the spirit of dash, wanderlust, means one who likes to go around. Ninth, after the accident, he took a vow to abstain from alcohol and become a dash teetotaler. Teetotaler means one who does not take alcohol. 10th, after the storm, the rich of the town came forward to rebuild homes, schools, and hospitals. The dash were appreciated by the people. So, one who helps society, they are called as philanthropists. So, these are the two exercises, students, and I think they have improved your vocabulary a lot. Next, we'll move on to the next item. And the next exercise is write one word substitutes for the following phrases. And the first phrase is incapable of being corrected or reformed. And the answer is incorrigible. That is. And the second phrase is words inscribed on a tomb. And what is the word? It is epitaph. That is the word, students. And the next phrase is one who is not a professional. And what could be the answer? It is unprofessional. That is the answer. And the fourth phrase is showing complete agreement or of same opinion. And do you know the word? What is the word? It is solidarity. Next phrase, no longer used or outdated. And the word is obsolete. That is the word, obsolete. And the next phrase is one who can do anything for money. And the word, substitute word for is mercenary. That is the word. Seventh phrase, ability to do several things at the same time. And the word is multitasking. Got the word? And the next phrase is can be understood in more than one way. And the answer is ambiguity or ambiguous, you can. And the next phrase is one who can draw maps. And the answer is cartographer. That is the word, cartographer. And the last phrase is able to use hands skillfully. And the answer is dexterity. That is the answer, students. So, did you understand how to substitute one words for the given phrases? So, this gives a kind of precision to what you are trying to tell. Next, we'll move on to the next exercise. And the next exercise is critical reading. Critical reading means, do you know, students, there are levels of reading and this is the highest level of reading. So you will be very careful in reading, trying to understand what the author is interacting with the reader and reading between the lines. Means sometimes it is not explicitly told, but you will be able to understand it when you are reading it critically. So all the aspects you will take into consider consideration, and then you will be reading the passage. So now we'll move on to the passage. The title of the passage is Of Studies, and it is a small excerpt from Francis Bacon's essay, a longer piece of essay. Of Studies is an essay by Francis Bacon, who belonged to 15th century, an English philosopher, lawyer, and statesman. And Of Studies is from his collection Essays or Counsels, Civil and Moral, published in 1597. And this aphoristic essay means which is completely full of meaning, eloquent or terse. Terse means completely packed with meaning. So you require a lot of focused reading and comprehension to understand the essay. So the importance of studies and value of learning is discussed in this passage. That's why it is prescribed to you students. Otherwise it would have not been prescribed to you. So Bacon classifies the use of studies and discusses the effects of reading, writing and conversing. These are the three main purposes of reading. One is reading, writing and conversing means speaking. Nowadays we talk about LSRW skills, listening, speaking, reading and writing. So these are the three skills already discussed in 15th century. That means some 500 to 1600 years ago, the experts like Francis Bacon have discussed the importance of reading, students. So you also should understand the importance of reading. He describes the different kinds of books and how to read them, while also pointing out how different kinds of people use studies. So that is how he's explaining. Now we'll move on to the excerpt or the essay. So this is the essay, students. Studies serve for delight, for ornament and for ability. I'll read the questions and then we'll try to find out the answers. Okay, what three purposes do studies serve? So in this essay he talks about three purposes what the studies serve. One is for delight, one is for ornament and one is for ability. Delight means for entertainment. Sometimes we read for entertainment. We read funny stories and funny articles so that they provide us a kind of enjoyment. Then for ornaments means how beautifully the author has described an event or an issue or anything. So the careful choosing of the vocabulary and the statements or the sentences, that is for ornament. And then ability, it also shows the skill of the author. So see, same topic, if it is given, there are 60 students in the class, they write in different ways, 60 different ways. So some students only are able to write correctly, okay, precisely, means adding all the nuances of skill of language. So that is the ability. It shows how capable a person is. Then second question, what does too much time spent in studies indicate? So at the same time, he's telling not to spend too much of studying. That means, when you spend too much of time on studying, it makes you sloth. Sloth means lazy, means you are not that expert in understanding a thing. So you are spending a lot of time, means that shows a kind of retardness. Okay, what does the use of study for too much ornament lead to? So you are also studying it for too much of vocabulary. So what does it lead to? It leads to affectation. That means you get attached emotionally to that piece of writing. That is also not suggested, he says. So don't get attached to it and don't get carried away by the ornament or by the appearance of the essay or the bombardment of vocabulary and all. So you should also read for the correct information in that. Fourth question, what are the natural abilities in a person compared to and what do they need? So they are compared to natural plants, the abilities in a person, and they need pruning. Pruning means what is not required to be cut off. That is pruning, students. When this tree outgrows, the farmers or the caretakers, they cut off the plants. Then only it grows healthily. So we also should be in a position to cut off the unnecessary reading. That's what he says. Then fifth question, who condemns studies, who admires them and who uses them. So these are the three types of people who read. So first one, who condemns them. So crafty men condemns them. Crafty means cunning people. They condemn. They don't accept. They don't agree. Simple men admire and wise men use them. When they read, they'll be able to write it again in their originality. Then the last question, what are the different kinds of reading discussed by Francis Bacon? There are uh, different types of reading. First, he talks about that books are to be tasted. That means we should be able to read the gist of the book and taste it, what kind of genre, I mean, what kind of reading it will be. Whether it is scientific or whether it is ironical, whether it's a comedy, whether it's a tragedy. So you should be able to at the first glance itself, you should be able to identify and classify the book which you are reading. That is called as tasting. Others to be swallowed. That means some books have to be swallowed. That means comprehended correctly. So that is swallowing here. And some few to be chewed and digested. Digested means thorough understanding. You should be in a position to understand it thoroughly. So that is um, those are the different kinds of reading: tasting, swallowing, chewing, and digesting. Got it, students? So that is the gist of the passage studies, and there will be questions from this passage also. So hope you have understood the one word substitutes and the passage, critical reading passage, and hope you will be preparing for yourself for the examination. If still any queries are there, do not hesitate to put them in the comment section. Okay, students? So these are the questions which test your ability to think critically, students. So they very higher order of questions and higher order of reading skills. Look at the question. Do you agree or disagree with Bacon's views on studies? Justify your response. So do you agree? So this answer will not be there in the passage. You have to write and you have to think on your own. That's why the question is framed in such a way. Do you agree? Justify your response. Whether you agree or disagree, that's not a problem. So even if you agree, you have to justify. Even if you disagree also, you have to justify. So this is critical thinking. Second question, does learning take place only from books? Is knowledge contained only in books? This also involves your own interpretation, not from the text which you have read just now. Then how did people learn before the printing of books? So what kind of learning was there when the books were not there? So you have to think on your own and add to the essay. How was the knowledge recorded before the printed book came into existence? So when there was no printing press, and how was the knowledge recorded? Did they write on palm leaves or did they write somewhere? So that you have to tell. What are oral traditions? Do you know of any? So some now Vedas, you don't have a scripture for Veda students in Hindu mythology. No scripture, not, the Vedas are not written. They are only orally recited. That is how that is how the Vedas are inherited or passed on from one generation to another generation. There is no script for the Vedas. What are the different sources of learning in today's world? Today's world, this is additional information you will be giving to the passage. Bacon uses the words full man, ready man, and exact man. Does it reveal a gender bias? Should we understand these phrases in context of women too? So is man, this word man stands for the entire human beings, or do you think only the male gender is referred here? So you have to answer that. Are the women not included in this process of learning? Imagine if Bacon had written this essay about women. Reread the paragraph replacing man with woman and rewrite the passage using gender sensitive language. Do you know gender sensitive language, students? In gender sensitive language, you will not be using the pronouns he and she. You will never use. You will use only them and they. Though it is plural, you'll be, for a single person also you'll be using they and them. Okay, and there, there, that is called a gender sensitive language. No he and she will be used. This I clearly explained in one of my videos in gender sensitization students. If you go to gender sensitization, then I have clearly explained about these pronouns also, how to use the pronouns, gender sensitive pronouns. Okay, students, that is how you will be critically thinking of a passage, very higher level of reading. So those were the exercises from Unit 1 from the new syllabus students. I think you might have understood the vocabulary exercises, especially the one-word substitutes, which are very, very important from the examination point of view. And they are sure to appear in the examination. So do not ignore them. Even the critical passage also of studies will definitely appear in the examination, either in 2 marks question or the essay type question they will be appearing. So you have to learn all the exercises which are given, which are following the lessons. Not only the prose and poem, but the exercises also carry marks. And they are scoring marks, so do not ignore them. And this will be of Unit 1, and in the next video I'll be talking about Unit 2, all the unit students, like all the subunits like prose, poem, and the grammar exercises, vocabulary exercises, and additional reading passages also. Okay, and I'll be giving it like a playlist. So just click on the playlist, you will get it. And if this tutorial made sense, please do not hesitate to like, share, and substitute. Okay, so that really makes a lot of difference. Okay, bye bye for now. See you in the next video. Okay, let's meet up in the next video.